Well, we got a little birthday show going on here.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yep.
This just in, though. Virginia's boobs hurt, and I think that needs to take precedence of the show.
My boobs do hurt.
Yeah.
They're still healing, and so they go through phases where they feel great, and then they go through phases where they feel sore. Like they've been slapped around, and they have not been slapped around.
Yeah, is Panda able to test drive those things yet?
Not yet. He hasn't soiled the skin.
Oh, what?
What a great visual way to put that one.
Wait a minute.
Soiled the skin.
You can't do anything until it's completely healed.
Is soil the skin, is that a term?
He
Or
has to put the snow caps on the mountains.
Exactly.
put a little frosting on the donuts?
Exactly.
Okay.
Oh, my God.
Well, there you go.
Starting the podcast off with a bang.
Exactly. All right.
If you must know, yeah, there's been a lot of blowjobs in our house recently.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not really, I shouldn't be shook.
I assume with you and Panda.
Yes. Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Not like with randoms.
Okay, not strange people just coming in and all right.
Hey, it's Wednesday.
A lot of
Invite a couples over for a blowjob party.
I mean, a blowjob party kind of sounds fun. I'm not going to lie. If you get the right people involved.
Yeah, if you're the one being blown, it sounds awesome.
Yeah, those things do happen. I'm sure in the swinger world, there's easily got to be blowjob parties. It's got to be like like you do like spin the bottle. They got to have like their own twisted adult version of it.
It's like a blowjob train. You
Okay.
look down and like everyone's just blowing everyone.
Toot toot.
Toot toot. Hooga. Well, on your birthday, this email came in from Jen T. He said, Jaybird, just want to tell you this on this very special birthday that for every negative person out there, that has something negative to say to you, there are many others that love you no matter what you do. Me, my sons, and I, we all hope that you have a fantastic birthday. Never change that loving, caring, childish, and wacky personality that you have.
Aww.
You make us smile every single day. Have a great day.
It's very kind of you. Thank you.
Is she single?
She doesn't say.
It don't always have to be about,
Yeah.
putting
What?
some frosting on the donuts.
I want to see you get some mess on the skin.
Mess on the skin.
That's on the skin. She's feeling better.
I saw this list. These are always sometimes, you look at them, and when I hit 40, I looked at it, and it wasn't favorable to me. It's those things that you should do, they suggest, do before the age of 40.
These lists are so stupid.
A lot of them are. Sometimes I'll maybe read it, okay, maybe I should do that. Maybe I could.
I think just birthdays in general, or even an anniversary, I think it's always a time, at least for me, it's a time of reflection. You look back in your life, you think about thinking, this is pretty much any birthday. And you do, I think you almost kind of want to, you make like a little wish list or a bucket list, things you want to do you haven't done yet.
Yeah.
I think anybody should do that at any birthday, at any given time.
Yeah.
What's on your list? Blowjob party?
Blowjob party is on the list now. We're not getting to my list right now.
Really?
Some of the ones I have, and you've probably done this, see your favorite band live at least once.
Yep, I've seen Billy Joel twice.
Yeah, okay. Sure, yeah, it's one thing you can check off the list.
Check.
And some of these, like, I would adapt. Some of them I think are crap. Some of them I would adapt. They say watch every film on the AFI Top 100.
All right, they're getting clever. But I see what they're saying, though. I did
would
go through a
it.
run.
I would go through it because there's some movies like going, yeah, I should watch that. And so I would print it out. I'd be going, yeah, I mean, there's some I'm going, I don't care how good people say it is. I have no interest at all.
Maybe they're not being clever. Maybe I'm just being a dick. I think it actually is a good idea. And in fact, a couple years ago, I was doing that. I was going through all the classic movies I'd never seen. Like your, what's the one where you're talking to me?
Taxi Driver.
Yeah, I'd never seen that before.
I haven't either, yeah.
I fell asleep through it, so it's still...
Okay, but you know what? I'd say you cross it off.
Riveting.
Yeah, I'd say you cross it off at that point. That's not a bad one, but I would pick and choose still. I would just say, there's no way I'm going to like that
Like Deer Hunter was another one that was on. It's like a 4-hour movie.
Okay.
De Niro's in it.
Yeah.
About hunting deer?
No. I think it's about some guys back from the Vietnam War.
They say run a marathon or some kind of endurance race. I don't have a lot of interest in that.
I did the beer mile. I
There
feel
you
like
go.
I was an athlete. I threw up. I sweat.
I ran a half marathon twice. Trust me, it's overrated.
Yeah, I mean, Denny's, he was last in the KVJ marathon. So we're
Kinda did your thing.
We did our thing.
before the age of 40, pick a country and go visit. Something I'd like to do soon.
I would too. I'm just so afraid of all this like global terrorism everywhere. I was listening to my girl's podcast that I like, that chick Stassi. She went to France. Sure enough, when that cop got shot on that day in France, she was there.
Oh, shit. I mean,
I'd be
Stassi was there in France that day. Nobody
Yeah.
traveled.
I'd be so afraid. I'm just scaredy cat.
Seriously, you should not be. If anyone on the show shouldn't be afraid to get murdered, it should be you.
Yeah.
I think you would.
And if you want to be afraid, go to Chicago.
Chi-town.
Yeah, take a
I
bicycle
love
ride.
Chicago.
Take a bicycle ride through South Chicago. That's a lot more horrifying than going to Europe.
We went to Chicago, didn't we?
Yeah, we
Yes.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't get to the South Side though. Different story.
You were downtown.
Yeah,
Great trip.
yeah. It's a great trip.
That was a terrible trip. For me, anyway.
You could go to a country. Which one are you going to?
I have always wanted to go to Greece.
I hear you. That's right up there. That's top 3 for me.
It's so beautiful, and I just love like the people are sexy. They're like dark and they're just handsome and they're just sexy
Yeah.
people. And the women are sexy.
A lot of
and
beauty there.
a lot of food,
A lot of history. A lot of food.
Yeah.
A lot of good stuff. Italy is up there for me.
Japan, I think would be amazing.
Okay, be fascinating. And Australia, I think it'd be great.
I'm just
Jaybird?
trying to get up to New York. I've never even been to New York yet. I don't have my New York story. You guys have your New York stories. I don't have that.
You don't have the 45th and 9th.
Yeah, I want to have one good New York story where I either get robbed or someone pisses on my foot.
When you get robbed and someone pisses on you, that's not a good story.
But you're seasoned. Like Kevin got mugged his first week in New York.
Yeah.
He's seasoned, man. He's seasoned on the streets of New York. I respect it.
Now, I'd still get mugged again, though. But
And I respect that even more.
Yeah.
You didn't learn from your mistakes.
No.
you might get mugged and raped this time.
yeah, well, you got to aim higher, right?
I don't know if someone actually like held me up in an alleyway like a mugger. I don't know how I handle that. I don't know if I try to talk nicely to him. To like, hey man, hey, where's the best place to get pizza?
You should just give them what they want.
And not say
I'm not
shit.
talking about pizza. They say just give them the money. It's not if you can replace it.
Give me your wallet. Hey, I'm new here. Where's the best pizza? You can have my wallet, but just tell me where the best.
The guy wasn't going to shoot you. Then he has to shoot you because you're so fucking annoying.
Let me see here. Other stuff that they got on this list. Stuff you should do before the age of 40. Some good, some bad. Another suggestion is to go with the pick a country and go visit. Speak a second language.
Oh, that's a good one too.
Yeah. I really got to get that Spanish under wrap. I don't on a daily basis. I got to make it a bigger priority. Got to make it happen. I thought I had a great plan on how I was going to do it. It kind of fell through, so I got to get to it. I want to do that. I want to speak Spanish badly.
Well, speaking of Spanish, what happened to your father-in-law, Manuel? I
Yeah.
thought he was going to come out to Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, he didn't show. You never know. He's kind of.
You can't predict that, cat.
No, you
think he's
can't.
going right? He's going backwards.
Yeah, you don't know. He just kind of when he's there, you're just blessed with his presence, but you don't know when that might be or where.
And don't turn your back because just like that, whoa, he's gone.
Yeah, he is.
Into
Yeah,
the night.
He will.
He's
he
a
will.
Mexican mystery.
He will. You turn around, he's just, hey, where'd he go? Yeah.
Zorro, just right into the night, gone.
Yeah. It's kind of his thing.
Like
so.
wet burritos on Jaybird's plate.
You're blessed when he's there.
What burritos?
They say watch every season of a few great TV shows. I never used to watch TV. I started getting into some of the binge watching stuff, and I'm glad I did. I watched some really good stuff, and it kind of got me into it. I've kind of fallen off a little bit here recently. I just don't have a lot that I'm passionate of. I still got about 4 or 5 shows that I kind
You
of...
can burn on binging.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, you can absolutely burn on
In
that.
fact, it actually can hurt that show because it's too much. There's too many characters, and
You're
you
right.
get annoyed with it.
You're right.
Yeah, I've got the ones that are still staples that I stick with that are current shows, but yeah, picking up a new one. Somebody sent me an email and they said, "Hey Kev, you ought to check out Black Sails. It's only 4 seasons, and the premise is about the events that take place before the fictional novel Treasure Island. It is the golden age of piracy in the 1720s. Got some real pirates in there, too, like Blackbeard. I watched half an episode last night, and it's okay. It's good. Probably one of those things that might take a little bit of time, but I might look into that.
The series Denny's has got me on, and I really love it. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Have you seen any of those episodes?
No, I haven't.
It's funny, man.
That's one of those
I've
shows.
heard good
yeah.
things.
Highly, I mean, if you get offended, don't watch watch the show because they take everything you think is offensive and they make a subject matter out of it.
I like
That's
it.
cool.
It's pretty funny.
I like the concept. Said also check out the show Damages. It's done by the creators of Bloodline. So a lot of flashbacks, same kind of styles, and great series, and worth checking out. Robert, thank you for that. A couple ideas there for a few shows to watch. Another suggestion they say to do before the age of 40, read the entire Bible cover to cover. I tell you honestly on that, and I'm a Bible guy. I don't even know what I would recommend that somebody do that because it's hard to understand, and there are portions of the Bible where you can go for a while and there's not really a lot going on. They're like so and so begat so and so and da da da. It's like lineage, and you're like, ugh. It's like, you know, I mean, what am I reading here? I don't get any of this. I don't understand the names. What the heck is going on?
Is it disrespectful to make cliff notes for the Bible?
Not at all.
Do they have that?
No, I do that. I pick and choose. I cherry pick. That's how I do it. I pick out verses that are great. If I would tell anybody and they ask, hey, Kev, just curious in the Bible, what do I read? I would say, read the book of Proverbs, and there are 30 of them. So read one every single day for a month. And then there you go. It's the book of wisdom.
Okay.
And it's all those kind of like things like going, ooh, that's a good little nugget. And it's not even so much a religious concept as it's just good advice. You know, it's things about who you hang out with, how you spend your money, what you say, just things like going, yeah, you know what? That's just good advice coming from anybody.
I have a book like that, the Tao Te Ching, where
Yeah.
it's verses of
Yeah.
Taoism, but it's one of those things where you could read it, you could pick any chapter at any point, and if you're going through something,
Yeah.
it just seems like it knows that you're going through it. So
Can't
there's
go
a
wrong with
lesson
it.
there. And
Yeah. So I would say take a proverb a day, read it, kind of like let it sink in, figure out what it is, the ones that you really like, write down, and try to memorize them. And I wouldn't do the whole Bible cover to cover.
But I mean, because that kind of reminds me of people who do, because that sounds very inspirational. I love the inspirational quotes that you've made fun of me before, Virginia, because I'll put them in my hotel room. That stuff helps. All that Tony
yeah.
Robbins. If you really, I know people they think it's stupid, and they think they're looking silly by constantly being in a mirror and saying stuff. That shit helps, man.
Well, I think when you get to a certain age, sometimes you're always saying, okay, here I am. You're a lot more reckless with the front part of your life. And then the back end, you're like going, okay, I want to be a little bit more systematic, a little bit more wise with the decisions and the things that I do. That's why it's a good time, if you're hitting around that 40 age, to start doing some things where you've got these little quotes of wisdom that you kind of go back and you look at and be like, okay, I'm getting to the point in my life where I probably need to be understanding some of these things and doing them.
Again, I don't even think that's an age thing. I suggest anybody doing that.
I wish I started at 20.
Especially
I didn't.
if you're depressed
Yeah.
or struggling on something, get some inspiration in your life. I mean, what's it gonna do? It ain't gonna hurt you.
There's some great people on like Instagram and
Yeah.
Twitter that are really inspiring and in quick little quotes that you can just take and go, ah.
The one thing that Wayne Dyer said that I love, he said, and if you don't know who Wayne Dyer is, he passed away, but he was a spiritual leader. He said, you can do things you don't even realize are helping you. If you're in a work area and you maybe don't like your job, make sure your workspace has got nothing but inspiration around you. When you get in your car, have a picture of your family in there. I mean, always constantly have something of inspiration around you. You'll be surprised that it can actually be a mood lifter.
Yeah. Some of the other things that they say to do by the age of 40, write letters to the 5 people who have most impacted your life. Something you should do by 40, let them know about it. They say make amends with any enemies.
Yeah, I can honestly say, I mean, other than like Barbara and she don't even count. I feel like I'm at pretty much peace with everybody in my life.
That's good.
I mean, I'm talking about people that I know
Yeah.
that are relationships, from the past and from present. I don't feel like there's any kind of stinky feelings with anybody, at least not on my end.
It's good to have. Yeah, you don't want that. Don't let it linger. They say volunteer or go like on a mission or humanitarian aid trip, something like that, where you're just helping somebody else out. There's nothing in it for you.
Tell you what, man, people always ask me like, hey man, do you guys ever get depressed? What do you guys do for depression? I always say, get involved in a charity. Because people will you'll feel better about yourself, and then you're busy. Staying occupied helps with all that shit.
You're right. It's so uplifting. And you go to like the hospital and you see these kids fighting cancer and you're like, you know what? I really have nothing to bitch about.
Yeah, and if you're finding yourself struggling with a little depression, at least ask yourself this question. Am I bored? Am I busy enough? If you're not busy enough, that's why you could possibly be depressed.
And if you're not busy enough doing things for other people, that really is someplace that you can get a lot of personal inspiration from. Helping other people and then realizing, when you put stuff out there in the universe like that, it comes back to you.
Well, you meet great people in charity, too.
You do. You meet people that are like-minded, that also want to give back and see wonderful things happen. It's nothing but good.
They also recommend finding a mentor and a mentee if you don't have one by the age of 40. Somebody that you can look to for wisdom that's still going to guide you through your life, but then also somebody that you can pour the wisdom you've learned in your first 40 years down onto.
Everyone needs a mentor, man. Mentors are so important.
They also recommend learning to play an instrument. That, along with learning a language, those would be two things that would better yourself. It would give you something constructive to do. Could be useful, handy somewhere in your life.
That annoys me so bad when people are a little bit older, and they'll even be in their 30s. Oh, man, I was playing guitar a little bit, but I stopped, and I'm too old to do it now. Bullshit, man. You are never too old to learn an instrument.
That's true.
Oh my, there's so many people listening right now that would love to play an instrument, and they think that, they just don't have the time, or they're too old, or they're not going to be good enough. Suspend all that bullshit and play a fucking instrument.
If it makes you happy, do it.
Oh, it's so therapeutic. You don't have to be good at it. It's therapeutic.
And then they say go on a road trip of at least 1,000 miles, more than 15 hours. Just kind of go somewhere, something about the road. And I will agree, when I was a younger dude and I was just doing the radio thing and traveling, I've pretty much driven back and forth across the country like 2 or 3 times. And the one time my radio was broken.
Oh.
And I thought, how devastating, until I did it. And then I got in there and I'm like, oh my gosh, I actually, with my thoughts and thinking and the time that I had, was able to sort things out. And this was when I was in my 20s, and I was like, whoa, what a great time. And now it's rare. I'm very selective in what I do. I mean, unless I'm going out just to party, get some drinks or whatever, I a lot of times don't put the radio on for just music and that kind of stuff.
Even with the radio or with music, anytime I'm on a road trip, whether it's in a plane or in a car, I think about my life and people. It's really weird. You start to go into reflective mode, and you're thinking of all shit that
It's good to do.
could I have done. Yeah,
Put your life into perspective.
It's weird, man. The road does something to a man, Virginia.
Yeah. Those are all great suggestions, honestly. I mean, there are a few that I would amend a little bit, but for the most part, I'm like, okay.
And
they're doable stuff.
The only thing I would add is don't wait till 40 to do that shit now.
No, you're right. Honestly, I wish if I could go back and pull aside 20-year-old Kev, that would be it. I'd be going, you know what? You're spending a lot of time and energy on some really stupid stuff right now.
I really do encourage people who want to, if they're really trying to play an instrument and they're on the fence about it, please pick it up. Go for it. It will change your life for the better.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, I wish I had done the language thing a lot younger.
Pick it up unless it's a piano. If it's a piano, don't try to
Throw
pick
your back
it up.
out.
Well, these
You'll
days,
hurt yourself.
especially
They're
40.
making great pianos you can lift up these days.
This one from Biker Steve in Erie, PA said, Jay Bird, I thought of you. If you've never had them and you can't find them, you need to go check this out. Hers grilled cheese and tomato soup flavored cheese curls. There they are in a vending machine.
I am
Grilled
not
cheese and tomato soup chips.
Cheese curls.
Cheese curls.
on paper.
What is that? Like a chiwi?
like a cheese doodle if it's a curl or like a Cheeto.
I don't like doodles.
I don't do well. I love ketchup. I don't like ketchup chips. I ate them Burger King ketchup fries that one time.
Blech.
Remember, I was eating them. I got sick for about 2 days.
That's disgusting.
It was pretty gnarly, yeah, actually, and I love ketchup.
And on Stacks, Stephanie emailed us from Texas, said, have you ever considered snacks around the world? Being a diverse member of the snack community, have you ever considered trying, for instance, different things like you could go to Amazon, type whatever international country you'd like to try, and add the words snack box to the search? An example could be Chinese snack box. The world is a big, beautiful place, and you should delve right in.
That's a great suggestion.
Yeah.
Great suggestion.
Yeah. Also, got this thought to ponder here. Steve from D.C. sent us this email. Said, I live in Washington, D.C. now, but I have lived in PA and South Florida throughout my life, so this is coming from a place of complete curiosity. I just want to play the devil's advocate here. And this stems off the conversation that we had the other day from your hometown of New Orleans, Virginia, where they're currently having debates about removing statues of Confederate generals like Robert E. Lee.
Yes.
And
People are pissed.
they've got, what is it? Is it, what's the big square that is there? Is it
Andrew Jackson.
Andrew Jackson? Okay. And I don't know a ton about him, but if I remember right, he has some unfavorable.
I mean, that's when I was married. I was married under the
Yeah.
shadow of Andrew Jackson.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. Yeah, but I mean, if all these images make people upset and Andrew Jackson was a bastard, then we shouldn't celebrate him, right?
That's just it.
I don't know. I don't know enough about him.
Yeah, I don't know about a lot of this stuff, and I felt kind of bad the other day because we're getting into a debate, and Virginia's Googling shit, and I'm trying to make a point, and I'm Googling shit. I don't know enough about a lot of this stuff.
Well, Robert E. Lee, we looked into. He did, and at the end of his life, want the slaves to be freed. But before that, he was kind of a bastard about it. He always believed that people with darker skin were a lower class of an individual, and he owned slaves himself. And I mean, just if it hurts people, I see their point.
And so he says, well, you say that General Lee does not deserve a statue because he had owned slaves. Just to play the devil's advocate, do you think that George Washington and Thomas Jefferson deserve a statue or a monument? Both of these men were also slave owners. Just want to point that out and maybe spark a bit more conversation about how to handle that wrinkle.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say when I was talking about, adding amendments or addendums or whatever to we put a lot of stock in history from the 1700s and revere a lot of people from that time, but that was in the 1700s and things evolve, and that was my thing. If somebody, if you look in the past and they had, not all good, they had some shitty things in there, should we be having these people be so well respected? That was my question. That's really what I was wondering.
Yeah, no, I mean, it is a good question when you start looking at our history. And, for instance, you got Washington, D.C., the state of Washington. You've got currency that all bear his likeness. And if we're doing these things with Robert E. Lee,
and our
because of their
monuments.
stance, with that, I mean, the Washington Monument.
We got a lot of stuff we got to take down.
Either rename, I think you'd at least have to rename it. If you took this stance, just saying,
this is if you took it. This is a hypothetical.
Stance,
so stop with your emails.
Yeah, you're looking at the Washington Monument. You're looking at, a lot of stuff you're going to have to change if you get rid of Washington. Same thing with currency with Jefferson, all those kind of things. So, as we look back and as we try to do things to stamp out some of the racism that we still have and bring our society together, we find out that some of these lingering feelings, Confederate flags that fly over courthouses, some of these monuments, some of these statues and things like that still are in the way of us getting the racial unity that we want in this country. I think that's probably a really good discussion that we need to have to say, where do we need to go with this? Do you ever give someone forgiveness because they were a victim of the mindset of their time and they were not forward thinkers and were not stepping out above what they were? I wonder in 200 years if somebody would look back at the mindset we have on things right now that we look at that we don't think too much about.
Don't tell me future generations will take down the Jaybird statues. Please.
Well, what are we doing right now? And I just know in the course of this show, there are words and things that we have done, like, when you talk about some of the mental disabilities and words that we used to throw around cavalier 20 years ago.
I heard an old bit probably from maybe 12 years ago, not that long ago, and some of the language in there, we would all get in trouble. It wouldn't fly.
Yeah, no, exactly. And you look back and now you're ashamed and you're going, boy, you wish you would have had those sensibilities then. So we're talking about 200 years with a lot of these guys. And let's say, for instance, you had George Washington here today, Robert E. Lee here today, and they could look back at themselves as they were back in 1770s to say, look, my gosh, boy, was I so wrong. I was stuck in the vacuum of my time. How could I even consider this to be right? So I don't know. I mean, for me, I don't think you ever do anything where you wash out history and you remove the stories. You still need to have George Washington there. You still need to have Andrew Jackson there. Even the most undesirable people in history are still part of history. You don't even wipe out Adolf Hitler. You have to go back and know who these people were and see what they were doing so that you're like going, okay, you learn from it, good or bad, from who these people were.
And you want it accurate, too.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want big holes and be going, wait, what happened there? I don't understand.
I can tell you, when I was going to school, they didn't teach me everything, and they didn't teach me everything the right way. You're made to believe things are one certain way, and then as you get older, you're like, oh, shit.
Mm-hmm. I don't have the answer, but I think it's a good discussion to have. And you got to sit down with the people that are, saying, look, this is a serious barrier to racial harmony in this country. And say, okay, well, what can we do? What do we need to do? What are your suggestions? And then we'll make it an open discussion.
The thing I would like to see happen is having a discussion like that and people not lose their shit. They may not agree or they have an opinion, but don't get angry to the point where I'm fucking never listening to you, fucking jerk, Sinicki.
Yeah. Not here. Well, it'd be not.
You can't control
It would be a great
that.
discussion to have where people could come in and honestly be calm about it. To say, because that's what I would like to hear. When you're worried about getting into a fight or whatever, you may hold back some of how you feel. And you should be able to go, hey, tell me how this makes you feel and where your thoughts are on this so that I can take it in, process it, and tell you what my thoughts are on it.
And I'm not saying don't get mad because, my feelings are hurt. I just, like the one guy, he got so mad, he's never going to listen to us again. He had a point I was very interested in hearing, and he's just like, fuck you, I'm done, I'm out. I'm like, dude, I would like to hear what you have to say. It's content for the show.
And we invited you to come and talk, and he's like, no, fuck you guys.
It's content. I wanted to hear what he had to say. He might have brought up a valid point. I'm not a big fan of saying, I'm done, never again, fuck you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And to me, like I had said a little bit yesterday, I think there is a difference between acknowledging history and putting someone on a monument. You're celebrating them and you're celebrating, their achievements and what they've done. And like I said, with the Joe Paterno statue that they took down at Penn State out front of the football stadium, I think there's a difference. You never take anything out of the history books, but you may have to say, okay, does this person deserve a statue, a square, a state, a city?
And that's all I was saying the other day. Just because someone's in a history book or on a piece of money, does that make them,
a saint?
A saint.
Someone we should revere.
That's all I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Great questions. I don't know what the answer is. Now I'm kind of like confused because I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, Washington, all those guys had slaves.
It'd be a good, honestly, if we ever get around to it, we could find the right panel to do it of people that could come on and talk about it without losing their shit.
Yeah.
It'd be a great podcast to do.
Yeah.
To sit down and talk about it because I would like to know and bring people from all different races and religions together to say, hey, let's talk about this. One day we can talk about race and one day we can talk about religion and all kinds of other things because knowing you and understanding you and hearing what you have to say helps me understand the situation better.
Because to me, one of the coolest things about planet Earth is how everyone is different and everyone believes. That's why I always love hearing people's thoughts about what happens when they die. Everybody has a different answer. Everyone's got a different theory. It's fascinating to me.
It is.
Yeah, it's fascinating stuff. So there you go. I want to say a quick shout out to Brenda. She said, hey guys, I sent the cake. Love your fuckery. There you go. Jaybird always starts words with friends, games with me, then forfeits. WTF, Bird.
Oh.
I try to do it, the words with friends every now and then. I can't do it.
You give up.
Well, no, because the thing I don't like about words with friends is people know when you're logged in. They can see when you've last played. And there's some people I'm avoiding on that game.
I don't know if she's one of them.
No, she's not.
Okay, all right.
She's definitely not one. But it's another way of someone keeping tabs on you, and I don't like that.
And where's this cake she speaks of?
I don't know if it's one of the ones that have already come in. She talked about how she sent one. I don't know. I see several cakes.
Maybe she sent one of the ones from Whole Foods. Is that what she's saying?
Well, thank you so much for thank you to everybody. There's Philip.
There's Philip from Buds.
Oh, yeah.
Is he leaving?
That man's a legend. Give him a statue.
Yeah, thank you to everybody who has sent me stuff and did such nice things for me. I really do appreciate it.
Lots of love on your birthday.
For sure.
Yeah. It's
very
good
lucky.
stuff, man. Surrounded by people that love you, dude.
Totally.
That's awesome. Not everybody can say that.
Y'all should make
Completely.
out.
Completely.
Yeah. So good stuff.
Me and Kevin.
You should definitely make out right now.
Birthday kiss, Kev?
Yes.
I'm kidding.
All right, thank you guys for all the emails and the discussion. Mail at kvjshow.com. Got a couple mom games that are coming out if you want to have a little bit of fun with your mom. I'm not going to tell you what the games are because we always worry about you being, okay, Mom, now here's what
Here's
they're
what we're
going
going to say.
Hey, we've had people do that before.
Here's the answers.
Yeah, so we try to avoid that kind of sabotage, but send me an email. Let me know if you want to play. We're going to be doing it for a couple things. I got these Mamma Mia tickets, which I thought was kind of fitting for some of the Mother's Day games.
Excellent fitting.
Yeah, it's going to be at the Broward Center. Great theater show. If you love ABBA, if you love theater, if you love the Broward Center, you're going to love these tickets. That's what we'll be playing for. Or if you like one of the other ones, I've got $50 to the spa at PGA National Resort.
Ooh.
I've also got Bacon Fest tickets.
Ooh.
4-pack of tickets for next weekend at Roger Dean Stadium.
You got some good stuff over there.
I do. So if you want one of those prizes as well, send me an email today, mail at kvjshow.com so we can get that lined up.
Kevin's the candy man. He's got anything you need.
Yeah, what you want?
You'll fix, baby.
Yeah, the
I
first
got
one's
you.
free, bitch.
And I do want to tell you, hook up or hang up, I need more guys. I got some guys that are already in, and I'm trying to pair you with people that I think would work out.
Attention, attention. Kevin wants more men.
I need more men.
We're still hanging on to it, huh? We're still trying to find love.
I keep getting emails, people like going, look, I know that this thing isn't working out exactly how you had planned, but I love hook up or hang up because of all the disasters that happen every week.
I like it when it turns disastrous.
Sometimes it's better. You just don't want it to ever be like hateful or hurtful.
Well, just look, know that you're coming onto a radio show.
Yeah.
It's a blind date, and shit's gonna happen.
And it's for entertainment. I
Yes.
mean,
Yes.
there's no pressure on it. That's why if you get into it and you're on the radio and you're like going, oh my gosh, I'm not feeling this. That's why you hang up.
If it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
You can just
Yeah.
say, guys, I am not feeling this. Or if the date goes bad, you can just say, look, it didn't go well. Because a lot of blind dates don't go well.
Totally don't go well.
Describe yourself, what you're looking for in somebody. Send us your phone number and your photo. Mail at kvjshow.com.
I mean, the vultures are just hovering over your Bud's chicken and seafood. You see that bullshit going on in there?
Philip just brought a shit ton of Bud's chicken and
Well, let's
seafood
get to it.
for
And
my
these-
birthday.
The coworkers,
yeah.
they won't even let
Oh,
Jay
they
Bird
are.
get
All
in
right.
there yet.
They are buzzing around that.
Jay Bird, you gotta go get your food.
I got to end this. Go get your own. Jaybir's got his Bud shirt on.
Work with animals.
7
Buds.
locations in Palm Beach County. Bud's Chicken and Seafood. Thank you, Philip, for all the great grub. You guys have a great day. Goodbye.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems, ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.